Hello there lovely crafters, it's Terry from Veegstez Creates and I'm delighted to be here for this week's edition of Tonic Studios Monday Make, which are videos that are designed to motivate and inspire. So this week we're going a bit floral. So you may have one or more of these floral dies in your stash or similar kind of things. But the thing that I wanted to do this week is this kind of idea. So we've all probably got jam jars or sauce jars that we've sort of kept because they're come in handy. So, but the thing about flowers, most people love them and love receiving them, and sometimes we might buy ourselves some, treat ourselves, but sometimes we don't have the money but we want the lovely flowers. So this week my aim is to inspire you to shop your stash, to have a look around and gather your floral dies, and to come up with some kind of floral project. So what I'm going to be demonstrating in this video tutorial is how to use, if you've got this die set, the Whimsical Blooms, many of you will have, it's been around for a few years. It gives you different blooms and leaves and also different options of making stems. Many of you will probably have this fabulous foliage die set, which is a fairly recent release, which has also got beautifully large blooms, the same as the Whimsical Blooms die set, and it's also got really lovely foliage as well. I really love foliage like this. And then you might have some smaller ones as well, like these lovely lilies. There was a time they were putting these in the mystery bundles, so I ended up getting a few of them. And I bought this because I just absolutely loved the concept, and I think I've got most of the dies that sort of went with this set. But don't worry, this isn't about you purchasing the exact kit and following along and making the exact same thing as me. That's the exact opposite of the idea of Make It Mondays. The Monday Makes are designed purely to inspire you and motivate you in different ways. So you'll see a whole host of tips and techniques. So it's more about inspiration, ideas, tips and techniques. So obviously this set provides you with stems, but you don't need a die to make a stem. You could use a kebab skewer, those wooden skewers, wrap a bit of twine around it or some green yarn, or a couple of them. You could, I'll show you how to make a stem just using cardstock. You could make it flat and then put and sort of sandwich the stem between two blooms. I know these are different, but you know what I mean. You could, if they were the same, you could sandwich just a piece of cardstock there, and then you've got a floral. So throughout this tutorial I'll just be giving you lots of different ideas. We'll be playing with, I've got a great stack of my particular sort of favourite kind of colours of cardstock. So if you do want to sort of follow along and have a bit of a play, pause the video now and go and shop your stash and find out what crafty flowers and things that you want to make. Find yourself a jar that you particularly like, a bit of twine or ribbon. If you've got one of these ball tool sets with the rubber. Fantastic. They help you to shape your blooms. If you don't have anything like that, if you have something like a poke tool with a round end and a mouse mat, that works perfectly well. So you go off and get what you need. I'll go off and do my bits of die cutting and gather what I need, and then we'll meet back here in a second, and then we'll crack on. Okay, so I have been away and done quite a bit of die cutting, and I've used these two leaves and these three layering dies, which make this beautiful blue flower, which obviously you can see I was very inspired by, because I've also gone for blue. Then I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, that combination, and another combination, 1, 2, 3. And then for the centres, this one I'm just going to put a gem or a nouveau drop or something, but the others, I absolutely love these centre dies from here, because they the way they cut is that all of the little stamens, I guess, are separate, and they look absolutely fantastic. So I've gone for coral pink, bubblegum pink, fuchsia, raspberry, mustard, arctic blue, cornflower blue, pine tree green, grass green, and another green, and mauve purple and amethyst. And then I've also got another one over here, which is fuchsia and blossom pink. So obviously this die set is designed to make 3D stems. So I will show you how to do one of those in a bit, just because if you have got this set and you haven't used it yet, which is what happened last time I made a video using this die set, someone commented, oh, I've had this set for ages and I haven't used it, and oh, I didn't realise it was so good. So that's the reason why I will show you that. But I've also just cut some 1/2-inch strips. I've cut 3. This is the width of an A4 piece of card. So I've chosen my vase. So the vase will be like that. So I've done them in pine tree green, and I think it's fern. I will write these in the description box for you. So, and I've also pulled out a load of Nouveau ink pads, just to add a little bit of variation to some of the petals on some of the blooms, just so they're not all exactly the same. But what I really wanted to start with was to show you that you can definitely make a 3D flower that looks like that you can put in a jar if you haven't got that die set, or you haven't got a 3D making die set. So I'm going to put this to one side, and these are the dies from the Fabulous Foliage die set, which, if you remember, came out not too long ago. It's been less than a year, and you can it came with the you could buy the box, because I've got that. It's like a note card box, yeah, and different things, different like patterns to go in with it and whatnot. So first of all, I've cut out using the 3 shapes from this one, quite a few blooms, because I want to do the front and the back and then sandwich the stem between the two. This is really handy, by the way, even if you don't do like making flowers very often, I still think it's a really handy little kit to have. And it also comes with a pair of self-closing tweezers, which are a crafter's best friend. If you haven't discovered them, then you need to immediately go out and buy yourself some, because they are amazing and I don't know what I'd do without them. So first of all, if you've never made a 3D flower before, it's really easy. The ball tools have got different sizes, but you can go around and do this business in the center, and then like you can use the smaller blue ball on the petals. I'm not going to spend ages showing you this on camera. This is just like a little, this is how you do it kind of thing, and then you can do that on the back, and that's how you sort of build up the dimension. Let's get a bigger one. So this isn't my you know, a go-to thing that I do a lot, but I do enjoy doing it. And you know, I think I just love flowers, and there's so many occasions, aren't there, that are associated with flowers. Mother's Day is coming up at the time I'm filming this. We've just had Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, birthdays, and you know, I don't think I've met anybody really that doesn't like fresh flowers. Like, most people love fresh flowers. So that's how you sort of start to build up a flower that looks like that. Really, you don't have to do anything to the petals. It looks like they've just gone in and done the middle, and you can just play about with it really, and there's no real wrong way to do it. And you can always flatten it back down again if you've done it too much or you don't like the way it looks. There we go. So look at how different that looks compared to just the flat leaves. So I'm going to go and add some more dimension to the others, and then what I'm also off camera, and then what I'm also going to do off camera is I'm going to take 2 of the 3 1/2-inch strips that I've cut, glue them together, and then add some of the leaves, and then add another strip over the top so you can't see it. Okay, and then I will come back and then we will see how you can use the blooms to have flowers on the front and the back. I'm also, in fact I'll do this bit on camera, just to add a bit of colour. Let's get some borrowed light on the subject. Ooh, spinny spinny. And the great thing about this ink as well is it dries really quickly, so you can see straight away how just adding a tiny little bit just really lifts that. And just adds a little bit of something extra. So that's what I'll do. I'll just carry on adding some dimension and some ink to the blooms for the blue flower. Add those leaves to what will be the stem, and then come back and then we'll make a actual 3D flower from just the flat flower components and a few strips of cardstock. So see you back in a mo. Okay, so how cute does this look? So simple to make. I just cut 3 half-inch widths of green cardstock, 3 of the leaves, and just applied some darker green ink along one side of each leaf and along both sides of the stem. And then I have again added some ink. It's quite subtle, but just does add a bit of variety to the florals. So now I'm going to show you that with a bit of creative out of the box thinking, we can turn these blooms into an actual stand-up cardstock or paper flower. So it's going to be quite a bit of gluing, so I will fast forward some of this because obviously I don't want it to be boring for you. Or for the video to be long, because this video is part of the Monday Makes series, which is all around makes to inspire you and motivate you. So hopefully you'll find some of the techniques that I am showing you, that I'm going to show you, because I even discovered another one which I'm really quite chuffed with, as I always do in my prep. So yeah, so that's what the new Monday Makes series is about. So it's different members of the design team sharing tips and techniques and tutorials with the aim of just giving you some inspiration. So you can use any flower dies in your stash. I imagine many of you will have this die set and or the other die set, but Tonic do so many floral die sets or die sets that have florals in them. So as this, by the time this video is finished, you will see so many different types of florals and ways to use them. You are bound to feel inspired and to have at least one thing, if not several things, in your stash that are going to be suitable for you to recreate such a project. Or it might inspire you to go on and do a completely different project. I think for me, making this video is really, I started thinking about things that I like and would like to have in my home. In a perfect world, I'd have fresh flowers in my home every week. But at the moment, that's not going to happen. So, but paper flowers or cardstock flowers, they will last forever. They look so pretty. They wow guests. And, you know, you can make them go with your colour scheme. You can make small little arrangements, for example, for if you wanted one for your bedside table. I think that's what I'm going to do actually. Just get like a really tiny little jar and just make one or two really small blooms, so just using like some of the inner petals and not the outer petals. So you can see here that I'm trying to sort of press down and get the glue to adhere while still trying to shape the 3D-ness of the make as we go. It's a good idea to give it a little burnish as we go along as well. So as we're going through this, just to mention, obviously this is a new stitch series that started. I think I'm the second or third, maybe third person to do the Monday make. So if you enjoy this, if this is the first one you've seen, then do look out for the ones that have already happened and for the future ones. And many of you will know me, being one of the design team members, posting my videos for the Tonic craft kits and for making samples for launches, and increasingly making videos for other launches as well. So you might have seen my work but not actually have watched any of my videos. So it's really nice to meet you, and thanks for stopping by today. It's my channel's very relaxed and fun and interactive, and I tend to leave bloopers in as well. If I make mistakes, I leave bloopers in because I like to demonstrate that nothing is perfect. Nothing in crafting ever goes crafting is a representation of life. Nothing ever goes perfectly, but there's always a solution and a way to fix things. And I keep going around and trying to hold these petals up, and it's just these diamonds up, and it's just not working. So yeah, feel free to check out any of my other videos. I do have lots and lots of Tonic Studios content on my channel. Before I started on the design team about 18 months ago, I was already doing Tonic craft kit unboxing and project share videos. So I used to do like 2 or maybe 3 videos a month at that time. That was before I joined any design teams and had lots of other commitments to do. But still, my Tonic craft kit videos will endure and carry on for as long as they exist, because I love them and my subscribers love watching them. So now that is the one side done. It's slightly wonky actually, but that's okay because in nature things are. So we need to make sure that this sticks really good and proper to the stem. So I'm going to use a little bit of red liner tape and also some glue, of which Nouveau Deluxe adhesive is my glue of preference, because it's frankly quite magical. And now there's a super fine tip nib. I absolutely love it because all those intricate verso dies you can just get right in there. So probably best to do this from behind, and we want to stick it in the middle, and obviously because it's got glue on it, it's gonna wiggle a bit. So I need to give that time to set. before doing the other one. But as luck would have it, here's one I made earlier. Blue Peter styling. So this is what that will look like once I've added that to the back. So a die set, or part of a die set that was intended to be on just a decorative element on a 3D project, has now been turned into an actual flower. And it's quite sturdy because there's 3 of these together. You could add a couple more on if you wanted it to be more sturdy. How cute is that? Isn't it adorable? That side's got 2 of the middles and that side's got just 1. So a nice bit of variation. And again, I'm quite pleased with how the stem work turned out on this one. It looks like there's some lovely cast shadow and highlights. So I shall move this to one side and finish that in a little while. But the next thing I wanted to show you is really quite exciting. You can't have a bouquet of flowers without having some foliage in it, can you? You know, if you think about getting a bunch of flowers, there's always some gypsy filly and some greenery and whatnot. So I am quite pleased with myself that I came up with this idea. So I cut 4 of these ferny looking dies and then we'll glue them all the way along the length of this and then fold it in half. So it doesn't need much glue in order to hold it, and in fact you can see where it needs the glue. Just needs it on the ends. A little bit fiddly, but it's worth it in the end. Don't worry if you get glue in visible places, because you can always use a adhesive eraser to get rid of that, or just pick it off with your fingers. Plus the fact no one really notices. I can pretty much guarantee that if someone walks into your house and sees a gorgeous handmade bouquet of flowers complete with greenery, they're going to be wowed. So if you try this out, can you please come back onto this video and let me know what people have said? If you're inspired to make something like this for your home and it makes you smile, then I will honestly do a happy dance, because that's what this whole series is about. And also I just personally love it when people tell me that some of my work has inspired them, you know, because it's all for you guys. You know, that's why we do it. It's all for you. Yeah, it's the love of crafting, but you know, whether you're a design team member or not, we're all the same. We all just enjoy and love crafting. So now we just run a bead of glue all along here, and then we close it, and then that will be done. I felt like I was halfway through a sentence before and then forgot what I was saying, which I do quite frequently. But yeah, so I think it was when I was talking about, when I was thinking about this make, I was thinking about, because obviously the sort of the purpose of the Monday makes is makes to inspire and motivate you, and I find inspiration from my environment. So I love nature, and so I've got plants all over, like in every room of my house. I just love nature, and I love my environment to be attractive, and I think that by being able to make something that you enjoy, that you can look at and go, gosh, that's really gorgeous and I made that, you can't really beat that feeling. It's pretty amazing. So that's kind of what inspired me to make this. So it was the brief, makes to motivate and inspire, and what inspires me, which is my surroundings. So also Blue Peter styly. Here's the one I made earlier, that's slightly different colours. So this top bit looks a bit weird, doesn't it? So we need to do something with that. So I'm going to get my little new favourite fussy cutting scissors, the little Tim Holtz. I think they're 5-inch. I think they're the mini ones. So I'm going to trim it from the back, and I'm going to trim it to go like into that leaf. There we go, that looks a bit neater. Oh. I'll be finding bits of green on my carpet for ages, but there we go. So we've now got 2 lovely bits of greenery. So we've got a gorgeous flower, a rose between 2 thorns, except there are no thorns on here. And obviously not everyone will have the what's it called, this one, Whimsical Blooms die set, but I did say that I would show you how to make one of the flowers from there, so I will do that. So here's what I prepared earlier. So basically there's a die that cuts out a shape, a funny shape like this, and you need to cut 4 of them and then fold it attractive side in, and then you glue these tabs. Well, no, you don't glue the tabs, you glue the stems together. And there we go. So that is a 3-dimensional stem from the Whimsical Blooms kit. There is another type as well, but I'm not going to show that one. And so throughout all of the blooms that I've made, I've used a mixture of blooms from both die sets. So it really is amazing. Like, you might have one die set that's florals, for example, but you might have 3 or 4 sets that are florals, and you know, one might have some gorgeous leaves in, one might have one particular flower that you like, another might have another particular flower that you like. So you know, mixing and matching is really good, I find. So these little holes are cut in the largest bloom. Why did nobody tell me? No, don't do that. But yeah, so bloopers. I won't edit that out because this is real life and I do stuff like that all the time, so I'm sure other people do too. So there we go. Let's check if we've got any more. Yes, we do. We've got one more. So obviously you can cut as few or as many as you wish. So I chose quite a few with this one. I decided I wanted it to be very full, but it's you can fold down the petals and make it really poofy and whatnot. You know, I think with flowers sometimes the more the better, the more layers. Obviously it's more die cutting, but you can make them more poofy and stuff. So now we adhere the glue tabs. That bit won't actually matter because I'm gonna squodge some glue inside to make sure that the one side isn't sticking up in the air, because these do kind of support they kind of support the flower, so we do need it stuck down really. Oh, I'm getting glue everywhere as well. I blame you guys. I do. You should have told me. Nobody told me. All your fault. It's not because I wasn't concentrating. Just doing a bit of poofing. Arranging my petals while I'm waiting for my glue to dry. It's nice to have some petals poking down and some straight out and some up, because that's the way it is in nature, isn't it? It's they're all angles. As I said earlier, like, I do love nature, but both my mum and her mum got the green fingered gene that runs quite strongly in my on my maternal side. However, it skips a generation in me, in that I love plants and flowers. I have lots of plants in my house. I don't have any flowers in my house because I worry that I might kill them accidentally. And I don't like being outside because I don't like the heat and I don't like insects. So like, I don't like being outside, as in I don't like sitting in a garden, and I wouldn't like maintaining a garden. So luckily I live in a flat, so I've got a balcony which I'm planning on decorating with a bamboo screen to stop anyone being able to see me. So, because loads of people are like, oh, why don't you have hanging baskets? And I'm like, oh gosh, that sounds like a lot of effort. Yeah, so you didn't realise you'd be getting to know so much about my life, did you, by watching this video today? Right, so next layer on, and it's good to try and position the the petals in between the spaces. Obviously you couldn't do that with the first ones because they all align with the same holes, but it is possible to do that with these. So this will look good with some of these petals lifted up more to mask some of the gap between the sizes. So I say, if this is new to you, I hope that you're enjoying it and it's taken some of the fear factor out of making flowers for you. As I say, I'm no expert, but it's really not too difficult to get your head round. Just play with the ball tool and the blooms, and if you play about with what they look like if you use the ball tool on the back versus if you use it on the front, because it's nice to see how they look different and what you want for your particular make. And there we go, finished off with, I absolutely love this flower centre from the Fabulous Foliage die set. And also Blue Peter Styly, I do have another one that I already made. This one was using different shaped petals, but and different colours obviously, but there we go. So if I move these out the way, we can see that we have some greenery, doing a bit of flower, ad hoc flower arranging here. And now the bigger one will be at the back. There we go. I love how, see, we've even got the greenery, one going one way and one another. And then once that's dry and I've added the other one, that will be complete. And obviously you can fuss around with the layout of the petals until you're happy, but there you go. So just with a jar, I think this was pickled onions or beetroots, something like that, some florals from my stash and some cardstock in pretty colours from my stash, all free. So essentially this is something that you can make for free, because you will, I would be really surprised if you don't have any floral dies in your stash. I would love to know if you feel inspired, and if so, by what in particular, and what, if anything, hopefully something you'll be taking away from today's video. Any questions that you have at all, please leave them in the comment section and I will always get back to you, and I will list the colours of the cardstock that I have used and the die sets. I know that the Whimsical Blooms isn't in stock, but I think the Fabulous Foliage might be. So there you go. See you soon, and take care everyone, and stay motivated and inspired. Bye for now.